We're meant to be together. I'll be there and you'll be here. This is exciting.
What do we say?
This is so exciting. Guess what? Guess what?
What?
We're pregnant! Yes! Woohoo! We're so excited.
We are.
It has been a journey to get to this place, and I've honestly dreamt of recording this. I have dreamt of recording this vlog and sharing our journey with you guys. Where do we begin? So this is actually week 5. So currently we are 5 weeks pregnant. And we're gonna do a weekly update. We're gonna share with you what we've been up to each week, what we've been experiencing physically, and then also what we've been doing and how this process is going for us. We're gonna vlog the whole time if we can.
And interestingly, this has been a fully vegan conception. So we were both fully plant-based at least 12 months prior to conception. Yes. No,
Longer.
Longer than 12 months
Yeah.
prior to conception. And
Maybe 2 years.
No.
Oh, I can't remember.
It's been a while. It's been a while. And we were pretty close to plant-based before that anyway, to be honest. But and then obviously it'll be a fully plant-based pregnancy, birth, child, the whole way through. So we're excited to share that journey as well and dispel some myths along the way around plant-based and vegan lifestyle. So that's exciting. But other than that, let's talk about the journey. How long did it take us to get here, baby?
Wow. Well, we made the conscious decision to begin conscious conception in January 2019.
What is conscious conception?
Conscious conception is when you and your partner actively choose to create the space for a spirit baby to come in. So we did a lot of physical prep in this period leading up to consciously conceiving. We also did a lot of emotional and cleansing. So we did a lot of work before we decided to consciously call in our spirit baby. We did so much detoxing, cleansing of the body. We worked with an incredible physician, Dr. Stephen Cabral, who got our physical bodies into the best shape possible for us to home this gorgeous little spirit baby. And also, you know, it's 50-50. His sperm needs to be healthy and good quality. And so we did a lot of the physical work, didn't we? How long did we do that for? Well, actually, well, from the moment we got together.
Yeah, and even before that, if you think about it, we've both been on a physical wellness journey, 2010, I would say.
Yeah.
So we've had a good 10 years of prep, but more consciously. Actually, the minute we got together, we started baby prep. So that's actually 6.5 years ago.
And that's because we knew. So we got together November 2014. And we knew straight away that we were going to get married, that we were going to one day have babies together. And even though the babies weren't on the cards just then, we knew that that was something that we wanted to do in the future. So we went and saw a naturopath and we got all our blood tests done, and there were some things that we needed to work on. So from 2014 till October 2018, which is the day that I woke up. Remember, I woke up in October in our Bondi apartment, and I rolled over to you and I said, I'm ready. And you were like, what?
We've been speaking about it heaps leading up to that moment. I mean, since we got together. But Melissa had been going so deep into conception, you know, prenatal, antenatal, postnatal, all this sort of stuff for a long time. So you were becoming quite the expert on all things pregnancy and giving birth, but hadn't quite chosen to do it yet. And then all of a sudden she just, it just kind of clicked. And then, as Melissa said, we consciously started in January 2019. And because for the majority of for all of 2019, I was traveling back and forth between Noosa and Sydney. So, you know, we didn't have the ideal times sometimes to conceive. So for that whole year, we probably had 9 good months, I'd say, of attempts.
Yep.
Maybe a couple of those we weren't tracking very well. So sort of hard to say. And then in 2020, that would have been a few decent months. We're probably looking at about 13, 14 months worth of attempts, yeah. And when it happens, which obviously is now, it's amazing because we can now see why. There was a lot of stuff that we personally felt like we had to clear within ourselves at an emotional and spiritual level, and also as a couple. And I have to say that we had some challenges last year in our relationship, and we actually weren't, for some of those months, we weren't in the best place we've been in for sure in our relationship. And we really came into a much more loving, warm space in the last few months. And I think that's had a huge thing to do with it. But we also did a lot of interesting work the last few months. Let's talk about some of the physical things we've done.
Yeah. How long have you got?
Yeah, I know.
We did so many things. We read Spirit Babies. So we did a lot of the connecting with the spirit. I was chanting.
That's not physical stuff, but...
No. Sorry, yeah. I just will add that in then.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of connecting with the spirit baby and writing letters to it. I would be chanting at 5 a.m. in the morning these mantras and these chants to this beautiful spirit baby, calling it in. We did a lot of chanting together and meditations and exercises together where you stare at each other and you hold hands and you do these chants together. Spirit Babies is an incredible book if you want to dive deeper into that. So we did a lot of that. We did a lot of, I saw therapists and healers and so many different people. I had a lot of stuff that I needed to move through to create the space, and we had some stuff that we needed to move through. And that spirit baby has its birth time and date, and you just need to make sure that you are a clear vessel for that to come in.
I think that was a huge part of it for us, was knowing that, we're two healthy people. Everything physically checks out for us. Like, there's no problems. So why did it take 13, 14 months? Well, because we were playing our part physically and spiritually and emotionally as well, as well as we could. But this consciousness up there is, or wherever that consciousness is, everywhere, is going to come at the time that is right for that consciousness, for whatever that consciousness needs to experience. So for us to think we can control the outcome and, wave a magic wand and get pregnant straight away, it's kind of fantasy, because it's not really up to us. It's up to that spirit baby, as we call it. So that was one of our big lessons, was letting go of
control.
And I think one thing we can do really well in our life is if we want to create something in our life, we don't have too much troubles creating stuff. We can just kind of do it, which is one of the magical things about being in a great partnership, is that 1 + 1 equals like 100, not 2, right? So we can create really well, and all of a sudden the one thing you really want to create, it's actually not up to you. So there was a huge surrender process in that. And it was tough. It was tough.
Oh my gosh, it
really,
stretched
really hard
me.
for Melissa. Yeah.
It stretched me so much and forced me to really go within. And I'm so grateful now. I'm so grateful for the work that I did, and that we're now here. And this is like a week since we found out, and it was the most magical moment finding out. I kept on screaming, "This is the best day ever," didn't I? Well, it's up there with our wedding day. And he said, "What about our wedding day?" And I was like, okay, this is one of the 2 best days ever.
It was good. We filmed that moment. Well, actually got to think about that, if we're going to show that or
We
not.
might show it, we'll see.
Yeah. Let's talk about...
This week?
Let's talk about this week, how we felt, and maybe we can talk about... I wanted to share with them some of the things. For example, there were some tests we did, some of the physical things we did to prep that might help people understand a bit more about, what we did.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, we obviously checked the everything was working. There was different tests Melissa did for like follicle counts. Is that what it's called?
All the blood tests.
Progesterone.
I did cycle mapping, which is where you test your hormones for a whole month. And we found out that my progesterone was a tiny bit lower than desired, and my estrogen was a little bit higher than desired. We did so many blood tests. You did blood tests. I did blood tests.
I mean, it's not like everything was absolutely like optimum, but it was good.
It was like there was nothing concerning. They were like, there's nothing that would stop you guys falling.
There's no reason why you wouldn't get pregnant. So.
Yeah.
And then it's interesting, we'd heard quite a lot that there's a thing called Hycosi. Do you want to tell them about Hycosi?
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's this thing called Hycosi, which I think I first heard about from my friend Hannah. I think that's where I first heard about it, which is basically where they flush like a saline solution through your fallopian tubes to remove any possible blockages that might be in there.
Well, not to remove. The purpose of the test is to check
if there is a block.
And it was interesting for Melissa because Melissa found it very, very painful and almost passed out, which was...
He said I went green?
Fully green. Fully green. And so she found it very painful, which was interesting. And they also said that one was totally fine and the other one looked like it was blocked.
But it could have
been a spasm because of the stress of the test. So you don't really know, So let's say it was blocked. Well, there's a 25% chance of getting pregnant every month. And if one's blocked, you've got a 12.5% chance. But there seems to be this trend after doing Hycosis, people tend to get pregnant. So we actually waited until we knew we were going to be in a good place physically. Like I was here and we had space before we did the Hycosi. So we knew that we could have the time and space to potentially conceive. And that's exactly what happened. We actually had the Hycosi and the next time around we conceived, which is interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it was because of that.
No.
Like we did so many things. Like we were in the most loving, conscious place. Like, we meditated beforehand. We were very present with each other. It was the most beautiful connection that we've had. And we both really felt it. It was very beautiful. We were in such a gorgeous place. So, that definitely has an impact too. What else have we...
We also, through those 13 or 14 months, it felt like there was times where there may have been like a chemical pregnancy where, because Melissa's cycle, she's been mapping it for like 11 years or something.
Yes.
Tracking it. So we know her cycle. And there was a couple of cycles that went like 6 days late, which is unheard of for her, 5 days late. So we think there was
only one.
Oh, it was one, was there?
Yeah.
So, and there was another one where there was just totally different things happening in the very beginning. So it may have been sort of chemical pregnancies or who knows, that just didn't hold. But at the end of the day, now it's all kind of irrelevant. But it's interesting just to sort of watch that process, wasn't it?
And I just want to encourage you, whether you are wanting to call in a baby or not, one of the most empowering and beautiful things that you can do is track your cycle. Really, you can get an app and really get to understand your body and put in all the data, put in the cervical mucus, put in your temperature, put in your moods, put in your energy levels, put in everything, because that data is so important, not only to call in a baby and get pregnant, but for yourself, for understanding your own hormones and what's going on for you in your body.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of a lot of the physical stuff we did.
Also started acupuncture. We were also doing...
Yeah, we're doing Chinese herbalism with our friend Mim.
We also were doing chiro. We were also doing osteo and cranial sacral.
Which is a lot of the stuff we do anyway, to be honest.
It was interesting. I just want to say one thing. Another thing we also did the month before was have the session with Michael, who is an incredible body worker who can unblock tubes. So...
Well, it's interesting because he doesn't do that as like a regular thing, but it's kind of like I call him the white wizard. He's got this not flaming, but like pure white hair, and he's tall and looks like Gandalf.
Yes.
And beautiful man, but we sort of feel like he can do anything. We went to him and said, there could be a blockage. Do you want to do some craniosacral on that? And he did, and and
That was the month before.
that was the month before. So there's a lot of stuff we did, to be honest. We'd have to write a blog post on it.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll do a whole episode on conscious conception and
Yeah.
all the prep that we did. But this is about week 5, and we want to share with you what we've done this week and where we're at. So I just want to talk to you about the symptoms that I have been having and what I've been experiencing. I have been experiencing slight more tender breasts, at times like a tiny bit of, it's not cramping, you're just like, oh,
Awareness.
you can feel something. It's not painful at all, but you're just like, oh, and for me, it's really exciting. Even the slight more tender breasts was really exciting. And then
She froths every time something different. She's like, oh, this is different.
it's so exciting. And then maybe a little bit more tired, but
I think
like,
so. Your sleep's been a bit funny too, but I think
Yeah.
that's could be for a lot of reasons.
Yes. But other than that, it's just been so exciting. This whole week, we have been so excited. This week, we told Nick's parents, which was very exciting.
Last night.
It was very, very exciting. And in terms of what we've done, so we have been chatting, we're having an at-home water birth. So this week, we have been speaking to a lot of different midwives and...
A lot.
And basically auditioning them and seeing who we resonate with. So we've had lots of FaceTime calls with different midwives in the area and doulas, and we have been getting information. We think we're settled on this couple because you have to have 2 midwives. And we think we are settled on a doula as
Yeah.
well. So we're still in discussions about that. So that's really exciting. And we wanted to have a birth team early on. I know a lot of women wait until after the first trimester to find their midwife. But for us, I want to have someone that I can go on a journey with and really be mentored by. And these women are very...
I'm just checking your microphone.
And we also had a session with Dr. Stephen Cabral, who's our physician, and
Actually, next week we're going to do a full episode
on the supplements.
Her first trimester supplements.
Yes, so
really, really important.
So we've been chatting with him, and he kind of adjusted a bit of my supplement regime because now I'm pregnant. We've been working with Stephen for how many years now?
Since November 2017.
So yeah, he's been our doctor. He's a holistic doctor and friend for a very long time. And we'll link to everything below so you can check out everything that we've mentioned. And also Dr. Afrouz Amiri, who was on my podcast. She created an incredible program called Trimester Zero. So she's become a beautiful friend of ours, and we've also been confiding in her.
She's been on call. It's been amazing to have her on WhatsApp just in our corner. It gives you a lot of confidence when you have someone of that sort of prestige just answering questions whenever you have them. And she coached me through a few things as well, like things I could be doing to make sure the mitochondrial health of the baby was really strong, or my sperm, was strong. Lots of different things like that. So she's been incredible.
She has been amazing.
She was so happy when we told her, my God.
Yeah,
well, everyone has been.
Everyone has been. So that's what's been happening this week. They are the conversations that we've been having. We always knew we didn't have to have a conversation about whether we're having a home birth or not. We've known this from the moment we got together. We are very aligned on so many things. And also we have been reading more books. I'm currently reading The Well-Adjusted Baby, which I hadn't read. I was kind of saving until I've read
hundreds.
I'm almost embarrassed to admit how many birth and pregnancy books I've read before I got pregnant.
Probably 30.
Maybe more. Maybe 40. But it's because I'm so passionate about it. So this week I have been rereading Well-Adjusted Baby, and also rereading Mama Natural, who was also on my podcast, and she has a week-by-week guide. So each week I have been reading week 5, and then I read all of the ones leading up to that. So just making sure I'm doing all that. But I had highlighted and made so many notes in there already, so I'm just kind of skimming through that. We downloaded an app, What to Expect, just to kind of
It's fun. It's a
keep
fun
us,
app.
and there's little videos in there too. And I've also been journaling every day about how I'm feeling and the experience.
I just want to look at the phone.
Oh, the phone?
Because it's a vlog, we can do this, right?
Oh, he's got a meeting.
I'm late. We'll be back.
So, do you want to go? Do you want to? We'll cut this and we'll come back.
We're back.
We're back. He just had to do a little meeting, but we're back.
Yeah.
And I was telling you about journaling. I've started journaling. So this is the beautiful journal that I was gifted by our chiropractor a year ago. And I'm so excited that I've finally been able to start using it. And it's got beautiful prompts in it for every day of your entire pregnancy. It's really, really beautiful. So if you want to grab that, you can. And we'll link to everything in the below for you guys. I was going to say in the show notes, but below. And that's kind of what we've been up to this week. What else is there anything else we've been up to?
No, I think the main thing for us has been choosing the team, the birthing team.
Yeah.
And telling a few key people has been fun.
Yeah, we've literally only told like 2 of our best friends, 3 of our best friends, and your parents.
Yeah.
Haven't even told my parents yet because they live in a different area. They live about an hour and a half drive, and we want to tell them in person, and we're going to see them in 2 weeks. So we're going to wait 2 more weeks to tell them.
Yeah.
So how have you been feeling week 5? What's come up for you? Has anything come up? How are you feeling?
I feel excited. I feel like it's I'm a second-time parent for those of you who don't know that I have a son already, Leo, beautiful Leo, who's 14, currently away for 5 or 6 months and don't know when we'll see him next because of COVID, which is really quite mildly distressing, but try not to think about it. But it's a different experience because I was young and still am young, you know.
You look young.
I was young and it's just a totally different experience because also...
It's more going through the motions, would you say?
Yeah, sort of bit of society programming, just following the script. I was excited about it, of course. But when you are much more confident with who you are as a person and more financially stable and, excuse me, doing what you love, I think that all that is energy that can go into helping become a guardian for this next child that is much more aware. And, you know, I think I'm just going to be able to support this next child to really become their best self that they can. And I've done that with Leo, of course. It's just very different.
Well, we are so excited. So excited.
Yes.
And we can't wait to take you along the journey with us. So we'll be checking in every week and giving you updates. That is our intention. And just sharing with you what we're doing along the journey and how it's going for us. I'm so excited to be pregnant and to be a mama soon. I'm so pumped. I'm excited about everything. And like I said before, our dream is to have an at-home water birth. We've got 2 beautiful midwives and a doula, and then there'll be us 2 and maybe a birth photographer and videographer. They will do the same thing here in our home. We built our dream home, so being able to birth this little baby in our dream home will be so beautiful. Like if I had it my way, I'd be like down at the beach, birthing on the beach, but I'm not sure the general public would.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Maybe they would.
I don't know if it's accepted.
There's another thing I wanted to speak about.
Yeah, go for it.
And that is your work. It's been a big part of week 5. And that is, it's interesting because right now, you know, no one really knows that Melissa's pregnant. And our team, you know, we've got a great team.
They don't know.
They don't know. So basically, I've been a bit cryptic, but I've pulled Melissa. I reckon this week because my intention was I brought a new team member in, an online business manager. Her name's Katie. We brought her in because I knew this was coming, and I just knew that I had to take a lot of work off Melissa's hands. And also for business reasons as well, because you get to points in your business where you hit pain points, and that's where you need to literally step out of the way and bring people in so you can then grow to the next level. So it is time for Melissa's business to go to a new level of growth. and you need more hands on deck for that to happen. But it also requires Melissa to surrender and let go of the things that she's been doing, mainly around her podcast, because it's, you know, to put out, how many videos we're doing a week? 6 or 7 videos a week.
3 or 4, 3 episodes a week now.
3 episodes a week. We've got the podcast itself. There's a lot of stuff that happens, sponsorships, so much that goes into this podcast. And it shows, you know, she's 13 million downloads now.
As of recording this, which is August.
So good.
But August.
There's like 7 people on the team, I think, who manage the podcast. And Melissa was involved in a lot of those pieces. So I knew this was kind of on the cards. So this week, it was 2 days ago, I messaged our OBM, online business manager, and said, as of tomorrow, Melissa's out. And we were expecting that. That's what I've been building it towards.
Because obviously I'm not going to be able to do those things in later phases of the pregnancy. And then also I'm going to be giving myself maternity leave. I'll probably be taking 3 or 4 months off. I don't know. So we've been we've been actively talking about, what we need to do in the business so that all thrives whilst I take that time.
Yeah, so a big part of week 5 has been creating a lot more white space for Melissa. So I'd say that her workload has just dropped by at least 50%.
Well, we haven't really seen that just yet. Like I've still been working this week.
It's like 2 days in.
Yeah.
No,
2 days in. We've just been having the conversations with the team.
Well, she's out. Literally, she's out. The team's not allowed to speak to her.
Not really. That's not true.
They're not. They're not. So she's still resisting, right? She's still resisting. But anyway, that's been exciting because I think that's going to be good for Melissa on so many levels.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
Because it's really important throughout this pregnancy that you're building a human.
Oh, that's the other thing,
You're building a human.
I've become Sergeant.
Chill. Captain Chill.
Captain Chill. So
he's on the chill patrol.
I'm making sure she's super relaxed.
And chilling. So I've been having Epsom salt baths.
Not too hot.
Not too hot. Epsom salt baths. I haven't been napping yet, but I want to start napping. But I've been going to the beach and laying down there, but haven't been napping yet, but I want to start napping. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a beautiful time. You know, pregnancy is a beautiful time to just rest and move slower and be more present and take care, because you are building a human inside you.
Yeah, it's so amazing. I said to her last night driving home after telling my parents, I was like, what does it feel like to have like a human? There's a human growing in you. I said to her, the only thing I'm growing right now is some toenail fungus.
Some candida.
Which is pretty funny. So, but isn't that amazing? And speaking of growing humans, to bring this segment to a close.
Oh, one other thing we did this week, which I forgot to mention.
Yes?
We watched the documentary Birth Story by Ina May Gaskin.
Yeah,
that's another thing. So we'll link to everything below so you can follow along if you want to.
Yeah, so bringing it to a head. Next week, tune in because we're going to be taking you through Melissa's prescriptions.
Supplements, pregnancy supplements, trimester 1.
Very, very minimal, but important, because we have such a diverse whole food plant-based diet that you don't need a lot, but we're just using a few things here as security, really, insurance, right? So we'll take you through that next week, and this is all coming from our physician. We're not guessing. It's all based on blood work and tests and stuff. So can't wait to take you through that, and we'll catch you in week 6.
See you next week. Bye-bye.